And we are live! Welcome to Live Action Roleplay with
Cynthia Marie.
Kai Norman.
and Ryan Omega. Thank you for joining us here. If you have never joined us, we are a talk show where we talk about a lot of geeky things with our friends. And we have a special guest today. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Matthew Lillard. I'm an Aquarius, and I like long walks on the beach.
Nice. Nice. So normally we ask, what are you drinking? However, I think Sin had a different thing we're going to ask.
Oh, you didn't want to go with yours first?
No, I mean, we can if we want.
I'll go with mine. That's fine.
We are so prepared. We've
I'm
rehearsed.
so scared.
We are so-
Who's asking the most dangerous question first? I'm
We were
prepared.
so prepared. No,
I mean, I have the most dangerous question.
I have a
Okay.
least dangerous question, so I'll go with the least dangerous question.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Let's
fine,
build.
fine.
Let's build suspense. Kai, what kind of question do you have? Damn it!
Me?
Yes.
I don't have any questions.
Oh, we are so prepared. The question I have is, what is your favorite Magic deck to play?
So for me, let me talk real quick about my history of Magic. I started playing Magic when my son was probably 8. He's 13 now. So we played a lot together when he was younger, and that was sort of bonding. Like we played D&D, we played Magic. He stopped playing probably around 10 or 11, and when he stopped, I stopped. And then, one of the things that I'm really proud of is that I'm with this company that I started with my 4 best friends. There's 5 of us. We own a company collectively called Beadle and Grimm's. And this year, in fact, in December, we just launched the fact that we were building out a Magic brand, which we're going to talk about all tonight. And so in that, I was like, well, I've got to start. I'm kind of leading point on the Magic stuff. So I was like, I have to start playing again. So I am now back playing constantly. But I am playing a lot of Arena.
Oh.
Yes.
So I'm playing a ton of Arena, and I'm playing a lot. So my favorite decks are white decks.
Okay.
I like white mana, and then I'll throw in, I like some blue. I very rarely play black, and green is not my jam.
Okay. Sin, what kind of decks do you like to play with?
Well, I'm opposite of Matt.
You like black decks?
I have a mono black deck. Yeah, it's my so I play Commander. I
Oh,
don't
good.
play Arena because I don't have the attention span to just sit there and play that, and it wasn't working on my phone well and whatever. I like to have the physical cards in my hand, make it all decorative and pretty. I am all about the aesthetic. So my first Commander deck that I built by myself is based off of Ayara, First of Flowing. So it's a mono black deck because I just wanted to learn the mechanics instead of trying to sub in a whole bunch of different things and trying to figure it all out. I just did one solid color, and I
Nice.
just built a mono blue deck. I did a Merfolk deck just now this weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, I don't like green either though.
Not my jam.
Yeah, not my jam.
Kai.
Well, now I feel like I should say that I like green decks just to be, contradictory, but honestly, most of the colors that I tend to play with is white, black, and green. Although I'm all over the place now that I'm realizing I'm like, wait, no, white, black, and green, and red, and blue. But my absolute favorite stuff is I remember. I say I remember because I haven't played Magic recently. Ryan and Sin are trying to get me to learn Commander. So that kind of is an indicator of how recently I have played or not. But I do have a bunch of my old decks, and I still know how to use them. And goblins, so red decks, were some of my favorite thing. In fact, a lot of the goblin artwork kind of crossed over with a few of the artists that did a lot of the goblin art for Warhammer Fantasy.
Sure, yeah.
There was this artist known as Wayne England who I loved all of his work, and he'd done a ton of D&D art and Magic the Gathering and also Warhammer. So yeah, I love goblins to an unhealthy degree.
Love it.
All right.
Ryan, what
How about you, Ryan? What do you play?
So, I like playing high concept, unusual, janky decks. So my most recent obsession is Plane Chase Group Hug Commander. That sounds real. It's a lot of words.
There's a word salad.
It's not word. It's not word salad. There is a logic to it. So Plane Chase is a type of rarely played Magic that uses the Plane Chase deck. It's a lot of fun. It's basically there's another set of cards that explain if you're on this plane, all attacks do double damage, or if you're on this plane, everyone draws an extra card. So it's another layer that gets played onto things. And then there's Group Hug. So Group Hug is played with 4 more people, and your sole job is everyone gets to play extra lands. Everyone gets to draw more than 1 card. You can now play enchantments at the speed of flash. And you give everybody all the presents. Like, what's a win condition? I'm giving everyone presents so they don't attack me and don't realize I'm milling them out.
Oh, you! Oh!
Nice.
How
Nice.
dare!
Nice.
I give you all the candy.
That's nice.
Yeah.
How dare! Well, your question seems a lot more fun than mine now.
Okay, what's
Damn it, Ryan.
yours?
Mine was just gonna start off as an icebreaker, saying, "What's your favorite version or movie of Lillard?"
Oh, nice.
I'm answering this right now, and I'm showing off my T-shirt.
Yeah, hack the planet.
Hack the planet. Yeah, so Hackers is absolutely, without a doubt, it's honestly one of my top 3 movies when my ADHD functions enough that I can list my top 3 movies at a time.
Yeah.
How old were you when you saw it? Like 2, 1 years old?
No, I think I was probably like about 15 or 16, but like I'm 37 now, so you know.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, Matt, we're old on this podcast.
That is true. We are
You all look young. You all look young to me.
Oh, okay, so mine or Ryan, I asked a question, so you go first.
All right.
How old are you, and how'd you get exposed to Lillard?
So, my answer is very telling. Mine was Without a Paddle.
Right.
Part of it was during a time when I really embraced comedies. But also it came down to the fact that at the time I was also in the closet and these guys were hot.
That's fair.
That's
I'm blushing. Very sweet. I am in my underwear a majority of the film. Which is a horrible thing because it's just that was never I never got hired for my abs, put it to you that way. So all of a sudden one day when you're like, hey, here's the deal. The conceit of the movie is you're in your underwear half the movie. I was like, I am not prepared for this. At all. Not even a little.
Well, you were still one of the best parts of that movie, so.
Would you say you were
sorry.
more prepared for the things that were going to happen in like SLC Punk?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, so I did, people probably don't know the movie, but I did a little movie called SLC Punk, which is a movie about, I'm watching my Postmates guy, like he just called me twice and he's driving by my house again. I'm like, it's right here. Just stop and drop it off. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, that's real life in the middle of this. Your order may be canceled. You guys,
no.
Let me answer.
I mean,
Sorry.
You gotta take it. You
Hold
gotta
on.
take your food.
Yeah, go ahead and take your food.
Yep. Yeah, we can keep talking about Matthew Lillard without him being involved in this conversation, obviously.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I will say that the in chat, Ryan from Session Zero Clothing said SLC Punk was super formative for me, but Scream was a classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm digging how Scream is kind of getting like a resurgence going on. I think that's really fucking cool and awesome.
I'm
Yeah,
not a big horror fan.
I read an article about how with the kind of return of Scream and a few other things like that, there was this kind of like sort of zeitgeist, like stereotypical kind of like kid. It was like the horror movie kid that like started to get kind of shown as a reoccurring sort of like theme or character theme in movies, and it was this character that kind of slightly broke the fourth wall and knew the rules of horror movies. And Scream was one of the main ones that really introduced that kind of character concept into it. And I think did the best job of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's Lillard. Did he get his
Hey,
food?
it's
You got
safe.
your food now?
Yes!
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that.
You're good.
And I heard somebody in the chat like SLC Punk, and I just want to say thank you. That means a lot to me. That movie is my favorite movie. I've been around and doing movies for 30 years, and that one means the world to me. I also directed a movie called Fat Kid Rules the World, which means the world to me. So those are my two favorite movies. But yeah, why was I talking about SLC Punk? I was talking about it for some reason. Oh, was that in my life? I mean, my best friend, who just took his own life at 52 years old, who, if anyone's out there and you're in this chat, seek help, find help if you're struggling with depression or if you're lost on your journey, seek help and find help. But he was a punk rock kid, and in his punk rock youth, we were like best friends. He was a punk rocker. I was a drama geek, and together we had this other best friend who was this football player. So the three of us were like this little pack of brothers all through high school and our whole lives. And so my buddy Rob D, he's the one that prepared me for the punk rock movie. So yeah, that movie means a lot to me. It means more to me now probably than it did then.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a long answer, but every chance I get to weave in, like, mental health's legit, and everything with COVID and what people are going through, and the world is a really tough place right now. So if you're out there and you need help, seek help.
Yep, I'm a huge mental health advocate. I think most of our audience knows I suffer from anxiety and depression. I am not a stranger to talking about it at all.
Oh, good.
Yep, we talk about going to therapy if you have the means and ready to do so. Otherwise, yes, please reach out to whomever you can to help yourself.
Yes.
As far as my favorite Lillard movie, I think I've told you this, and I remember your response. So let's see if you have the same response. Because obviously we could all talk about Scooby-Doo. We all love you as Shaggy. We can talk about 13 Ghosts.
This is my favorite interview ever. Why can I come back next week?
Yes, you can.
Sure.
Yeah. But and 13 Goes, awesome. I'm not a big horror fan, but that was one of my breakthrough horror movies to first watch. So I loved 13 Ghosts. But my favorite is Wicker Park.
Terrible movie. Is that what I said?
And you're like, no one's ever said that to me before.
Terrible. No, that's not true. I actually like that movie. That movie was... So the funny thing about that movie is it's with, again, probably a movie not a lot of people have seen, but that's with Josh Hartnett and Diana Kruger and
Rose Byrne.
And Rose Byrne, who I adored. And the three of them, we were in Montreal and we were talking, we rehearsed during the day and it was freezing cold outside. And they'd all have like these caps on and scarves. And they'd sit there and smoke and talk about art and had coffee in one hand. And I used to just think to myself, they're all so beautiful. Like, I've never smoked in my life. It's not my jam. I didn't do it. So they would sit there. This is why the character, I'm like, oh, I have to start smoking. They were like, I did it. But I really was like, now I understand why people smoke. Is look at them. They're gorgeous. Look at them.
So for me, the movie, the reason why I was so attracted to it was because it was the first time I ever got to see a woman actually play a villain in a movie.
Oh,
like fully like do a whole switch in it. For you were the most relatable person, and I could like see myself talking to your character. And also I was a ballerina and modern dancer, so all of the scenes with all the dancing with Diana Kruger like kind of like stole my heart.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so like the whole movie in itself, like if you haven't seen Wicker Park, like go see it. Yeah, sure, it's a bad movie, I guess, but like the way
it's not bad. It's not that bad. It's fine.
It's not great, but the storytelling is really cool. Like you see things unfold, and at least for me, it was the first time to watch a story like connect different strings of things, and you start to see the bigger picture kind of appear. But that's always been mine. But yeah, maybe we can get him to do the Shaggy voice later. Cause
never know. You never know.
Never know. So the reason why we were talking about Magic Gathering and asking questions and all of these things is because I know that The subject for today is Beadle and Grimm's, and a lot of and I had questions about uh, the decision into going into luxury um, gaming merchandise. Like that
Ah,
is a very niche area,
yes.
and why did you and your friends decide to go into that area?
Yeah, it's a really great question. So Beadle and Grimm started 3 years ago. I'm now 50, 3 years, probably 4 years ago. We launched 3 years ago, but we started it 4 years ago.
Time as a construct.
Well, yeah. Um, we so towards our mid to late 40s, we all have kids and families, and the five of us have been gaming since we were 21 years old. We all met at acting school. Four of the five of us met at acting school. Charlie, who is Bill's brother, was in acting school. He was in the military. And in acting school, one day, instead of going to a Super Bowl party, we decided to play Dungeons and Dragons in the lobby of a Broadway theater because we had access because we were going to school at 50th and Broadway at Circle and Square. So we played in this lobby of this Broadway theater. And we started playing it at 12 o'clock at night and watched the sun come up at 6 in the morning. And it was the four of us, and John and I were roommates, and Bill and Charlie are roommates. So that's the four core. And then, Bill and Paul are roommates. I'm getting way too many details. Nobody really cares about these details. All you need to know is we started playing at 21, and our mid 40s, we're like having a life, and they're all successful businessmen. They all sort of are managers in corporations, and I'm an actor. And so we were like, what else is there in life? Right? Like we started to think like we got to do something else. And we were sort of having a midlife crisis. We were like, we saw like, we just wanted something to build together. And so at some point we're like, well, let's do an escape room, or what if we did a traveling escape room? And so we started to play with these ideas. Like we were talking about starting a LARP.
I've tried that.
Yeah. It's complicated. It's hard.
Oh no.
Yes.
Yes. But long story, way too long. At some point, Ryan loves that one. Ryan's like
There's a
crying.
reason for that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a reason.
too soon. Too soon? Is it too soon?
No.
No.
Just briefly, what happened is Kai actually owned and ran a LARP.
Amazing.
Yeah, like a really amazing, successful LARP. I loved playing in it. I played an post-apocalyptic version of Mario.
Yeah.
As in
It was
like
pretty awesome.
it was amazing.
Wow.
But like recently, due to things like mental health and also making sure that we understand and respect our time and knowing where we are in our life, Kai took a step back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually, like a few months ago, I announced that I was looking for, because I didn't want to abandon my baby, and I spent like a year of my life building all of the special effects costumes and stuff. I mean, like Beadle and Grimm have used some of my costumes in some of their like the live D&D productions and stuff, like the Avernus module that
sure.
you guys put out. Well,
Oh, yeah.
more than a module, the entire Avernus package that you were kind of putting together, right?
Right.
Yeah, like I got to kind of outfit you guys with some of the costumes and stuff, but yeah, I took about a year away from my life and started building all these crazy post-apocalyptic costumes, and then ran a LARP, and we had a really good one, and it was very much about fighting fascism and things like that and existing under fascism, which came to be a little too on the nose in ways.
Right. Close to home. Right.
Yeah. And it ended with the renting of a tank. So we actually
Wow.
had a tank rolling around in a Northern California abandoned military base. I'll show you the trailer after the show. I think you might enjoy it. But I kind of put myself to a point of burnout. It's one of we've talked about this before, and when you were mentioning mental health, like we are all very, very firm believers in mental health. In fact, a phrase that a lot of us say on the show is that LARP or roleplay, particularly, is therapeutic, but it is not therapy.
Yes.
So yeah, there's like a big difference there, and like so very much in support of that. But this isn't about me. I just recently, like a couple of days ago, we announced that we found a new buyer to take over for me because I didn't want to let the LARP die.
Sure,
and
right.
The community that we built up is incredible. In fact, quite a few of the community members are watching this live with us right now. But
Nice.
yeah, running a LARP, it can definitely be a lot more than you expect. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So you went to luxury gaming instead.
Thank you for confirming our choice, because it sounded really hard. And so at some point, look, we ended up deciding, my buddy was like, I have this idea and everyone should come over and we're going to talk about it. And so went over to Bill's house and he was like, sometimes if you're, and this is how he pitched it to us. He said, if you love Pearl Jam, you will, download the music. The next level, a fan of Pearl Jam will buy the album because they want the vinyl and they want to collect it and they want the pictures and the liner notes. But the ultimate fan of Pearl Jam will buy the boxed edition. And so we are the boxed edition for Dungeons and Dragons. Now we do Critical Role, we do Pathfinder, and we just launched Magic. So, yeah.
Matt, what's one of your favorite products that you guys have created thus far?
Well, it's a great question. So I was, we all work collectively. All of us work on every box. But I did Strahd. Everyone runs a box, but everyone works on it. And so I was point on Strahd and I was point on Ravenloft. And both those boxes are near and dear to my heart. But, to break into Magic, was complicated. It was like, what do we do? A lot of our stuff with Dungeons and Dragons, our core belief, we have two sort of core philosophies. First and foremost, our mission statement is just make cool shit. And if you make cool shit, people will also think it's cool and will buy it. And so we if we get turned on, if we get excited by something, we'll go make that thing. And it works in our favor a lot of times because I put a lot of time, energy, and effort into it. And we charge, we don't make a lot of money on our margins, not to talk about money too much, but, we try to create a company that first and foremost delivers to our customers. And then the second thing, our second core principle is, why was I saying this? There's a reason why I'm saying
your favorite product that you guys created.
Not really sure why I'm talking so much. I'm very excited, apparently.
You are a special guest.
I am the special guest, but I'm acting very special right now. But there was a reason why I was telling you our core philosophy.
What's
because
your
it's interesting and pertinent.
And your favorite product. Your favorite product.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back. Okay, my favorite product probably right now. Oh, we've had to figure out Kamigawa. We've had to figure out Magic, and so right now, I think my favorite product is our Magic Platinum Edition because we have had to figure it out as we go along. By the way, I'm playing with this. We're launching this new product line, which is it's a completion coin. So this comes in the Witchlight box, which shipped this week. And so if you complete it, your DM can hand you a coin. So I'm playing with it incessantly. I can't stop playing with it.
Do you want to hold it up to the camera?
Oh, yeah. So it's called the completion coin. It's hard to see. Nobody's ever seen this, so I'll show you.
Ooh.
Exclusive.
I don't know. Don't tell anyone, but this is the so it's available, not yet, but it's almost available at beadleandgrims.com. But basically it's our whole thing is at the end of a campaign, wouldn't it be cool if your DM was congratulations and gave you sort of a token of your journey?
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's a cool idea, actually.
We created boxes.
I have a bit of a question just for the viewers and listeners and so forth who maybe don't know. I know the three of us have seen the contents of several of the Beadle and Grimm deluxe boxes and everything like that, and you've said that your price point is pretty narrow to your profit margins. It isn't super big bucks profit. And I think very much that's because of the sheer volume and quality of the amazing stuff in those boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like those are an absolute treasure trove, but do you think you could maybe if you are more familiar with the contents of one, maybe go over kind of the sheer volume of the cool shit in one of them?
They're cool.
Yeah.
I'll show you something.
Do you have Everon? Is it Everon?
I do.
Is it Everon?
They have an Everon box right here.
Oh!
Eberron is easily my favorite setting of all of the ones that you guys have done.
Well, great. So look. So this is our. It's a gold edition. So we have a platinum edition, a silver edition, a gold edition, and we have a legendary edition with Curse of Strahd. So this is our Eberron edition. So this is our letter, which we take a lot of pride in writing this letter. We cry when we write it. So there you go.
Aww.
And I haven't looked through this in a long time, so I don't know what's in here and what's been pilfered along the way.
Oops.
But these are dragon marks. These are wearable tattoos.
Okay.
Oh.
A mark of warding, like they're marks, dragon marks in the adventure. So we went out and was like, oh, that'd be cool. What if players wanted to wear a tattoo, like a transfer during a game? That'd be cool. One of the things we hang our hat on is that we make really cool battle maps.
Mm.
So,
So like every encounter, every combat encounter that you have in your massive module, you have like mapped out, right?
Yeah, and not everyone, it depends, right? So one of the cool things that we do in the creative process, as I'm taking this thing apart, is when we first break out a book, we sit around and drink like a pot of coffee and talk about all the cool things that we like. And then we ask ourselves our second sort of, our mission statement is, how do we make a killer gaming experience for the table? Right? How do we, what does a DM need to deliver a great experience? And so when we go through the box production, like sort of list, and we break it out, we sort of sit down and go, okay, what makes sense and what doesn't make sense? So a lot of times we end up doing a ton of battle maps because we have read the entire adventure. We're like, okay, the big boss fight is here. There's a great battle here that most DMs will want to use in their campaign. So we try to plan that out to give the DM as much access to cool stuff as possible. But like Strahd, we did the entire castle Ravenloft. So I think it's like
you mapped the entire castle and had it available as maps.
Yeah, we don't make them available outside of the box.
Of course.
Yeah. So sometimes we do, like sometimes we offer elements outside the box and sometimes we don't. And that was like one of those things, like we want to make it special for people that buy that box. So what we do is that we do a lot. I mean, all of our art is custom art. So it's kind of hard to see with the reflection, but
That's awesome.
And hire really cool artists.
Nice.
Oh, that's so good.
And then we create the inside of the DM screen. Does anyone care about this? Am I talking too much?
No, this is
No.
perfect.
People will care. I
And
promise you that.
Honestly, I'll add that the quality of materials that you guys use are superb. So like you really are getting quality stuff for your dollar when you buy it. Like everything's hefty and beautiful, and yes.
Another battle map. Then we do letters, right? So sometimes people at home will write stuff out and then burn the edges. Well, we just go out and sort of create those elements. So we call them in-world handouts. So in Eberron, there's a bunch. There's a newspaper, and so we did this whole newspaper. So that's in there.
Physical props are a big deal in LARP, and when they cross over into just tabletop roleplay, being able to hand someone something physical really ups the immersion. It's something I entirely respect about you guys. It's so awesome.
How do we make? So this is the map of Sharn that we went out and we commissioned this. I'm trying to find our. So it's so funny that you guys said there's two things. So one, our Eberron. So we have this event called Feberon. And so we offer a huge discount on the Eberron box during the month of February, because what happened is when we first ordered it, we ordered it way past the time the Eberron landed. So we have a bunch of units. So we really try to move them in February. So if anyone's out there, if you go to beadleandgrimms.com, Feberon, there's a huge sale right now on Feberon.
Oh,
It's February 1st.
So there's
I need to hit that up.
all of our wearables aren't in the box. And because I do sort of all the ordering and the creative process, I'm trying to find it real quick and I can't find it. But for this box, we did like dragon shards. Like we had dragon shard necklace.
Oh, that's sick.
Nice.
Yeah, like in some of the previous ones, you've had like pendants and like a lot of badges, like guard badges or like secret society badges and tokens, and that's metal, isn't it?
Yeah, so I do all the order. So I work with a company that helps produce all these things. We do them all through Hand Cholo. So that's our vendor.
Oh, that's
Because I run that, I have this whole box of stuff next to me. But like, for example, so Descent into Avernus, this is a soul coin. In the event, if you things are run on the souls of the dead in hell.
Yep.
This takes place in hell. So we were like, oh, and there are things called soul coins that run these elements. So we went out and made these soul coins. And if you can, it's hard to see sometimes on the on screen, but it's on this side. So you see there's like a face in there.
Yeah, I can see it.
Face
Oh, wow.
trying to get out.
That's incredible. Yeah,
So,
like
wouldn't it be
our-
cool if like a face tried to get out? So yeah.
for our more audio listeners on the podcast side of things, rather than us being like a live video, the coinage that like Matt is showing is kind of like the size of a small plate, and it is heavily embossed and like with a whole bunch of cool details. The quality of the stuff that they put together for their physical handouts, their props in the games, is incredible. And I absolutely get why Matt is saying this. Like, yeah, we don't make much money on selling these things. It's like, yeah, they are beautiful stuff.
So it's funny. So our boxes are limited. They're numbered. This box was like $300. Our platinum editions are $500, but we try to bring as much value as we can to the table. So yeah.
We do have a question from chat from Harold of Thorn, who asks, would you ever want to create your own homebrew for consumers?
That's such a good question. Thank you for your question, because I love that question. So we are all creatives. Three of the guys have written movie scripts. I'm obviously an actor. Charlie's written a novel. Johnny's written a novel. So we 100% have our eyes set somewhere down the road of creating our own world, doing what we do and bringing that world to life in a way that allows players to play the way we like to create experiences. So in time, in success, as we continue to grow, we hope to bring that to market. But like every adventure we do, we write, we call them Tales from the Warehouse. We write bonus encounters, like 3 to 5 bonus encounters every time.
Well, I have a feeling that at the very bare minimum, you have 3 people who would love to play and or run along in a stream of something in that kind of world.
So I'll tell you what. So we're all old. So we're all 50-year-old men.
Yes.
And we 50-year-old plus. I think I'm the youngest. I just turned 52. But we are going to start streaming twice a month. So
Hell yeah.
One stream is going to be either drunken mailbag, where we answer questions and we drink, and just talk about the company, sort of like an Ask Me Anything with the community. And then we're doing streaming. And I just literally got a text today from Jason, who runs our that whole wing of the company. He's like, do you want to DM? So, I'm going to DM a game. It's going to be one of our D&D streams.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you guys would like to join me, but it sure be nice.
I would be there.
Let me think about it. Yes.
Okay, good. Well, look, I'll figure it out, and we'll have you on a game. We'll play, and I'll DM, which isn't.
Yes.
I don't normally DM, but I do like DMing. So
I was gonna ask, when you were saying about how you've got like 2 or 3 movie script writers, you've got yourself as an actor and a novelist in your usual gaming group. Who is your usual dungeon master? Out of that team?
Great question. So we've all DM'd. So all of us have run something. but it's normally John Ciccolini. We went away, this is, full, we were talking before we loaded on tonight that we had because our company runs every night from like 5 to midnight because we all have day jobs and we all have lives. And so that's when most of our work gets done. So because of that, because that's when our work gets done, we don't really have a time or energy to game anymore. So we went away this weekend, and one of the things I made sure we did is that, or we all made sure we did, was that we gamed every night that we were away, because we were working on 22 and 23 and our business model and projections and all that stuff. And at the end of that, we gamed, and that was John. And we were running Eberron, actually. We were actually running this box.
So I got to actually play with all the other guys from Beadle and Grimm while you were on a stream for D&D Live. Everybody else was playing outside, and I sat down and played with them.
Oh, that's upstairs. You played upstairs.
Yeah. They are an incredible bunch to play with. Everybody comes with some neat characters. It was actually the first time I ever played a fighter. So everyone helped me write a fighter character, and I got to beat down some dragons, and they're all staring at me like, what? How
Where did this angel come from?
Yeah.
We have another question. What is the D&D adventure or setting that Beadles and Grimms hasn't made a premium box for that you'd most like to have the chance to create for?
Ooh. So I know what comes up this year for D&D, obviously, and I can't reveal it, but I will tell you we're really excited about these two. We're doing 2 adventures this year that I'm really excited about. I think fans are gonna be really excited about. So that's that. Our big, we never played Strahd. And so as we were going to cons and hanging out with people and sort of getting feedback, everyone's like, when are you going to do Strahd? When are you going to do Strahd? So we ended up doing Strahd. I think it came out at the beginning of 2021. And that's been our most successful box to date for D&D.
It makes sense. I mean, especially when you've got his entire castle mapped out.
Yeah, that was crazy because that was one of those decisions you're like, you can have the last battle anywhere in this castle. So what do you choose? And we're like, well, screw it. Let's just make the whole thing, which was kind of insane. But it's a super cool map, and our cartographers are the best in business.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, knowing what the topic is here, kind of want to steer into what you guys are coming out with now with Neon Dynasty and Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
You can see all of us kind of have our backgrounds. And by the way, quick shout out, happy Lunar New Year, folks.
Happy Lunar New Year.
You're the tiger. Let's do this. So this is really on par and really awesome to start talking about Neon Dynasty. So tell us what is in this backpack.
I'm going to show the backpack to our audience. We just flashed it a little bit earlier, but let's go ahead and show it again.
Heck yeah.
There we go.
I have to say, like, I reached out to you, Matt, because, I mean, most people know me at my gaming scheme. I love pink, if you can't tell. And so when I saw your guys' backpack, I was so impressed and excited because there was finally a product that was both feminine and masculine and just like badass, like an awesome. So of course I've been kind of drooling over the products, and I had to reach out to you guys somehow just to tell you how freaking cool it looks. So please tell us, what was the inspiration behind the backpack first and the design and stuff?
Yeah, so when we started the process, we were like, well, how do you deliver an epic experience for gamers in the Magic space? In Beadle and Grimm's, we can do maps. We can do, character sheets. We can do DM screens. Like, we sort of have a whole system of things that we can pull on to create a D&D experience. But getting into Magic, we're like, okay, what do people want? Mm-hmm. And we started there. And then, like, again, going back to, well, wouldn't it be cool if? And so one of the things that we did is that instead of delivering in a box, because once you do a box, I mean, nobody's going to end up putting their gear for Magic back in like a box and stick it on the shelf, right? They're gonna play with it, they're gonna live with it. So then we're like, well, instead of like spending all that money on a box, because boxes are oddly expensive, we're like, what if we did a backpack? And then like, okay, what if we did a small backpack? Well, that doesn't really do anything. And what if we did a bigger backpack that you could fit all your stuff that we're delivering in? And that's what we ended up doing. And that we ended up having to create it. I mean, that's a Beadle and Grimm's original. So it's not like we went and bought it off the shelf. We designed it, we built it, we shipped it in the whole 9 yards. So
it's just so awesome because I get together with a group of ladies and we talk about like the lack of products that are out there for ladies, and we've talked about like a carrying case. Like we literally cannot find good carrying cases to put any of our like geek stuff in. So again, with the backpack, it's just like, finally somebody was thinking about the consumer.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, so at some point, we had a lot of feedback about should you go. There's two major colors in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. There's magenta and there's cyan. And the blue is like, that would have been an easy sort of like, oh, everyone likes blue and it's neon. And my whole thing was like, we've seen it. And I don't believe in feminine versus masculine. I have a non-binary kid. Like, I'm like, who cares about gender? Just make what's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So we leaned into that pink. We made the sides reflective, and we built that shit for everyone. So if somebody out there, if there's a male gamer out there that doesn't want to wear pink, then somebody else will.
Yep.
And so that's where we started. I mean, we built it, and launching with Kamigawa is really cool for us because the space that the deck is awesome. It's beautiful. I mean, everything's going to be released on February 3rd, so everyone will be able to see the cards. But what they've released so far, that world is electric, and being able to launch a new project that's super design specific was great for us.
It's electric.
That is just so cool.
But it's like I was like, I'm a photographer. I like shooting stuff. So we designed it as like a photo bag. So all the sort of dividers on the inside can move. There's it's reflective on the side. It's got a port for charging. One of the cool things we're doing, I can't show it right now because it's still embargoed, but we have our play mat is LED lined.
I was going to mention, that sounds really cool. It's
super cool. And it's like one of the best gaming mat companies out there. And they built it for us, and they'd never done an LED line thing before. Mm-hmm. So that's something new that we brought to the space that we're really excited about. And, if you want to go to your game store, you could run a charger from your backpack to your LED line playmat, and it might be a little extra, but it'd be pretty fly.
Have you met this group? Like, we're extra. For this.
Yeah. LARPers in general are super extra.
Yeah.
My brain is already like, okay, now I gotta go find a matching battery pack to have in the backpack so that I can like parlay.
Hide it in your little compartment. But yeah, the LED is like changes, like it's got like I think 8 colors or 9 colors, and it's pretty rad.
Yeah. What I love, just looking through some of your merchandise, I absolutely love your counters. These beautiful gold coin counters that are like, that I know that in Magic the Gathering we have to sometimes designate if they have flying, or if they're hexproof, or if they have like 1/1 counters. And like, these are like genius, like just in design, and they look great.
Yeah, they're it's so crazy because I know I have them. Well, you have a picture of them, right?
Yep.
We've got a picture up right now.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, good. Yeah, those are them. So we look, one of the things that we wanted to do is, a lot of other companies, and this isn't knocking anyone, a lot of other companies want to create items that are evergreen, right? So once you create that, that mold, that's very expensive, and they want that mold to last as long as they can, so they amortize the value of that mold. And they want to do something basic. So they want it to work for Kamigawa, they want it to work for the next set, and the next set, and the next set, and the next set. Our whole thing is like, that's great, but that's not what we do. How do we improve on what people are doing before us? And so we built these in an homage to the space and the time, and sort of like a throwback to old sort of Japanese centric coins, and yet still trying to hold space for the modern Kamigawa world. So the design process was tricky because you're like, those are elements off of the card that we brought into the ability counters and the +1 counters, and we think they're pretty rad.
Yeah. Just seeing them, it's like if you start putting those down on the table while you're playing, it's got some really fun wow factor, and they are clearly, what they're meant to be. They are clearly tokens, and they do very clearly represent the stats on them and stuff. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a little extra, but it's kind of rad.
Yeah, but the nice part about a little extra is that whenever I want to bring my kit to the game store or to meet with my friends, I don't want necessarily like things that are always generic. Like, I want them to be a representation of me. Like, this is my fandom. I want it to look a certain way. That's why all of us are a little bit extra. That's why Sin wants very, very specific things in, like, not just her Magic, but in her D&D. Kai's rooms are all very Neon Kamigawa is like, he's like the perfect poster child for like this kind of lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bit of a cyberpunk room in here. I might show it on the video in a minute, but yeah.
Listen, the question is, for us, we can continue to go through the backpack, but like are there enough fans out there, enough people out there in the world that are interested in creating that experience for themselves when they're playing the game? And
hey, we've got a few viewers here, so let's ask the audience. Chat, what do y'all think?
I'm loading in.
Yeah.
I can.
Right.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to show some of the other products that I haven't shown yet. Like, I thought this was cute. The Oni Helmet Life Counter.
Yes.
I always like different life counters. They always speak about a person. Normally, I usually use like a couple of dice to represent my life, but the problem is with dice, they get knocked over easily. Sometimes we lose track of life, sometimes we lose track of like what those numbers are, but something that actually stands out is separate from it. Like, we absolutely know, oh, that's Ryan's life, and we absolutely know that. We're trying to knock him to 0, but this
the little spider guy.
Spider guy.
So
cool.
Come on, chat, tell us how extra are you guys?
Oh my goodness, you got the light
Right.
version. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's bring it.
Well,
oh, there we go.
Does he come in pink? I'm with you.
He's
Samantha.
huge too.
He's big.
Wow.
He's a big boy. That is not small.
No, he's not small. But he kind of, again, he sits there and you get to roll him around.
Well, Beadle and Grimm is all about making a statement. Like, you guys have these like amazing quality things, and like showing them kind of stuff. Like, the whole point is luxury, and I feel like when it comes to gamers in particular, like, how many of us have dice that are specific to our individual characters that we happen to play? Like, you have your dice that are like colored or themed after a specific character. I know I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. Can I share with you something super fun?
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Now that you brought up dice. So we went away this weekend and we had a shipment come in we had this, we did a Kickstarter last year, or at the beginning of last year. And we did these character chronicles for Pathfinder. So they're amazing books. They're beautiful books. Again, they're Beadle and Grimm's. But one of the things we decided to throw in is we came up with this idea. Wouldn't it be cool? Because a lot of times you get dice in like 7 or like 11, right? And it comes with like, dice, and you go in and you sort of, sometimes your character needs 2 20-sided dice, and so you have to buy another 20. So we said, well, wouldn't it be cool if you created a dice set that was built for your character?
Yes.
This is our set. So this has more D6s for backstabs.
D6 for backstab.
Right.
This is cool.
So every dice in this is curated for when you want to play a paladin. and then we made the art, and so that's our sorcerer. It's kind of hard because
That's really nice artwork. It's almost like Avatar style.
Yeah.
bad, right?
Yeah, this
really
is badass.
Is the artist, and he did all of them. So this is our warlock.
I love the tarot inspiration on this.
Can you mention the artist again? It sounded like it cut out. Who was it?
Fei Li. He's a Chinese, I think he's Chinese American, and he's unbelievable.
Nice.
Wow.
So that's the wizard. She's like fierce.
Yes.
Isn't that cool?
I'm excited to see Bard.
So these are going to be, this is the first item we sold in game stores. So for us, it's like super emotional because we're like, oh my God, we made something in a game store, which is super fun. So those aren't out yet, by the way.
It is a cool experience.
Another exclusive here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're coming up on the hour here. So last minute thoughts, final questions, chat. How extra can y'all be? No one really answered that. No?
I think a lot of people were still absorbing what they were just being shown. So.
They also got really nervous seeing you in chat, Matt.
That's true.
Hold up.
But I'm digging Samantha Larp's vibes here. Pink and sparkly and gold is all mine. Like I have my little dice line that is like that too. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Oh, here's a question. Do you plan on doing anything else in the tabletop space like Warhammer? That was from Ryan Session Zero Clothing.
Hi, Ryan Session Zero Clothing. He's with us a lot. We like Ryan. So no plans yet to do Warhammer. We have really cool stuff coming. We have Critical Role stuff that just happened. So Tal'Dorei just came out. So we just did multiple editions of that. So if you guys are fans of Critical Role, you can find our Tal'Dorei stuff. We're doing more stuff for Magic. We have a really cool Magic launch in the middle of the year. And then we have a couple brands I can't talk about, but that are super dope. Like all world, huge, massive names.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. So yeah, so two of my buddies have quit their careers. We were saying this before, but there's 5 of us, and 2 of them have now quit their day jobs and their careers to work full time for the company, which is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I'm so pleased that this like this passion of yours to like deliver such like bespoke and kind of like quality luxury stuff has gotten so successful that like your childhood friends, your childhood gaming group is like, or like college gaming group is kind of like able to make it their full-time job. Like that is incredibly cool.
Yeah. It's pretty, we feel pretty blessed. I mean, I make the joke all the time, and I'll say here, I mean, before you work for the company, you don't make money. So we're all working for free. I mean, those of us that aren't working for the company. So everything we make in the company, we put back in the company. It lets us deliver products that are super cool and continue to grow. So the fact that they can raise their kids, take care of the family, is a big sort of, it's a, indication of how committed we are and how much we love the community and how much we love the space and our company.
Yeah. And honestly, that was kind of what I wanted to touch on, is a lot of our audience are just starting out, content creators or business owners just starting out, and we love to give tips. But one of the realities that you kind of did point out earlier, and you had kind of like shied away from it, I'd love for you to kind of expand on it a little more, was the struggle of, owning this company and knowing what you were getting out of it. And it's not about the big success, but really like just having fun with your friends and creating an experience for yourself, because ultimately that's what makes you happy, right? It's like creating these products because other people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to point out your bank check, which was amazing. The bank. Yeah, I mean, look, I love talking about this because as an actor, like journey, it has to be about journey. It has to be about wanting to die as an artist instead of the next movie, right? Because if I said, if you'd said to me as a young kid, hey, if I could give you a commercial, would you want it? And I would say yes, because I'm a young actor and I want that commercial, and I'd make money and I'd be able to feed myself, and being a commercial would be amazing. Well, as soon as you get done with the commercial, the question is, well, what's next? What do I get next? Because that's what I really want.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, what's next is like, I'm going to give you a guest star on a TV show. Would you want that? Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Yes. And then you do the TV show, and your next question is like, well, what's next? And if you had said to me, hey, at some point you're going to be an Academy Award winning film, you're going to be Shaggy, and you're going to be a part of Scream and sort of have this legacy as an actor, are you happy? Are you satisfied? And the reality is like, I'm happy and satisfied, but none of it has anything to do with any of those titles or the money or the movies or anything. I'm happy and satisfied because at some point I realized that no amount of success brings you joy. Your house doesn't bring you joy. A car doesn't bring you joy. A watch doesn't give you joy. What gives you joy is, last night we did a reading of a screenplay in my living room. Being surrounded by people that inspire you, that give you, support you, that give you joy, that are your friends. I mean, that's literally the best part. And to create. And also, like, it's about the whole journey. It's got to be about the journey, or you're never going to make it. And look, and I think that's why D&D is so important to me in our lives, because I realize it's not about the magic item. It's not about getting to the third level. It's about the entire story and sitting at that table. And I just think that can be related to every creative endeavor. Like, you have to have a greater goal than making money.
Yep. I think that's a great note to end on right there.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
You want to do those socials?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do those socials. First of all, Matthew, thank you so much for joining us. That last comment just kind of hit me a lot, actually. Here on the channel, when we're all kind of like making stuff, all Sin, Kai, and I have been creators, together on this channel, and then we do our own stuff, right? And people don't realize that it's a constant struggle, but the struggle is metered by the fact that you are having joy creating things with your friends and seeing that response with people. So knowing that it's that really matters, that brings the joy more so than the accolades and the finished product is meaningful. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Happy to spit my truth to you. If nothing else, right? I mean, if one person hears it and you can like change trajectory and sort of relieve the pressure, because so many people, especially young people, are always looking for the win in an event. Like, they're looking for like, well, what will it do for me? And my question is, who knows? There's no answer, because the things you think are going to change your life most of the time don't. It's the last thing in the world you think is going to come along and do anything for you actually ends up being the thing that makes the most impact.
It's always interesting to see the switch from somebody going from survival mode to inspiration. Like when you start to grow as an adult. Like, I've just recently kind of gotten to that point in my life where I'm like, I don't need to take gigs or anything just to survive. Like, I'm thriving. Like, okay, what more can I do now? Like, I can really focus on like inspiring and enjoying the different things instead of having to be like, what's next? Because I need money, like. Yeah. It's been a really cool journey, and I love seeing it in other people too. I love seeing them kind of go from that fight or flight moment to like their wings just spreading open and just doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's powerful. I mean, look, and my whole thing is like, the 10,000 hours. Can you get 10,000 hours? Can you become a master at something? Mm-hmm. And I think if you continually look at, it doesn't really matter. If you can frame things as like, I don't know who's on the stream right now, and I don't know what the numbers are, but can that stream be the more hours of me collecting towards to being a master? And, then it takes pressure off of everything. I've got an audition tomorrow for a movie, and I'm never going to get it. But I'm happy to audition because I'm collecting hours and I haven't acted in a while. And so here's a chance 5 pages that I get to collect hours. And so if you just keep this idea of like my
You're
job
getting experience points again.
is to collect experience points. That's good. I like that, Kai. It's nice.
Yeah. Sometimes it's perspective too, because I used to worry about auditions because I'm always thinking about people always judging me. And it wasn't until sitting with my friend Sasha, who's a director, who said, do you know what I love about auditions? They're mini performances for me. And then I went,
That's funny.
oh.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of thinking that I'm always being judged, I get to perform for this one person, and that literally changed my perspective on any audition, and everything became a joy.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's still, but there's still a grind. It's still like,
Oh, for
it's
sure.
still sometimes you're humiliating, and it's like, oh my God, I'm embarrassed. And, but look, it's, I don't know, you can always go and be an accountant, right? And so I'm like, I'd much rather be doing this. So,
Yes.
all right, you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Yeah.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, Matt.
Thank
We
you.
need to take care of our socials and things like that because we're on our way out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Matt,
So-
where can people find you on the internets?
I am at Matthew Lillard on Twitter, and I'm Matthew Lillard on Instagram.
And Beadle and Grimm's also.
Oh yeah, Beadle and Grimm's. Yeah, Beadle and Grimm's. Sorry, I'm not good at the socials. Beadle and Grimm's on both those things, on Twitter and Instagram, and we're also on Facebook, I think. We're on Facebook. In fact, Facebook, we're trying to pick up Facebook. So I don't know if anyone's doing Facebook still, but if you're into Facebook, we're doing Facebook.
Yes, I have found you on
Yeah.
I have found Beatles and Grimm's on Facebook, so we're good
There you
there.
We will find it and we will like it.
Amen.
All right, Sin, where can people find you on the internet, and what are you up to next?
Oh, okay. So you guys can find me on Twitter at CynDancer or Instagram Cynthia__Marie. That'll be changing soon because I'm tired of saying all of that. I have a lot of shows coming up. This week alone, I am going to be playing in Rune Quest on Chaosium, so twitch.tv/Chaosium. We're going to be doing the starter set. I'm going to be playing Vasana. So if anybody's interested in learning about Rune Quest, check it out. It's going to be really awesome. I'm also playing D&D Gods of Color on the Cookout TTRPG, so twitch.tv/the Cookout. And that's kind of a homebrew situation where we play demigods. So come see us there. One game, I mean, I'm all excited about all these different games, but one that like I get to reprise a role is Aliens. I get to come back and
heck yeah.
revenge. Aliens, and I get to wear a pilot suit because if y'all know who I am, what I do for a living, I'm very excited to wear a pilot suit. So that's gonna be this weekend on Friday, I believe, and that's on the Initiative Order, twitch.tv/the Initiative Order. Otherwise, if you want to see, yeah, they're amazing. If you want to see some of the other stuff, LA by Night, y'all know where that's at, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. New York by Night will be coming out sometime soon this year, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, just look at the socials, and I pop up every now and then.
Kai, where can people find you on the internet, and what are you up to next?
You can find me yokai props along most of the internet and places like that. And where you can find me next, I don't have too much planned right now. I'm kind of enjoying the lull of successfully finding some people to take over my LARP, and well, it's no longer my LARP, which is kind of the point. But I'm going to be helping train them up, so I'm probably going to be a bit busy with that. But nothing in the public eye for a little bit. When that does happen, I'll be sure to hit my socials, though.
All right, cool. And then for me, coming up on Live Action Roleplay this Thursday, normally we would have Boardroom Fate Court today, but this Thursday we're going to have Boardroom Fate Court, the adventures of fairies in Hollywood and Vine trying to get famous so they don't die from losing their immortality. So that is happening Thursday at 7. Next week, we are going to have another special event called We Talk About Bruno, a Latin discussion of Disney's Encanto, led by Cynthia Marie with our friends Blythe Calla, Randy Alvarenga, Amanda Varela, Hector Quintana, and Lex the Chameleon. And at the end of this month, we will have our reading of First Draft Star Wars. So we found the first draft of Star Wars, and we're going to cast that soon of people who want to read from the original that George Lucas, it is very wild. It is nothing like Star Wars at all. Han Solo is a
Yeah.
green alien. We have Anakin Starkiller, and lots of weird things have happened. But we're going to read it, and I will be casting that soon. And I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, because without you, we would not be able to do what we do here on this channel. So again, thank you all for joining us here on Live Action Roleplay. Any final thoughts?
Take care of yourselves.
Take care of yourselves. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.